Hi, this is Professor Culkin, your instructor for History 20 online at Bronx Community College. And what I wanted to do today was talk to you about your final paper or your big research project for this semester. And this is going to be a local history project. It might be slightly different than papers you've written for other history classes. What you're going to do is research a location in New York City which relates to a person in the Hall of Fame for Great Americans. The location can be a place where the person lived, worked, or spoke, where he or she gave a lecture, a place named after him or her, or a statue of him or her, a place where there's a plaque dedicated to him or her. It's up to you. You just need to be able to show a clear connection to someone in the Hall of Fame. Now, as some of you know, the Hall of Fame is the rotunda that goes behind Gould Memorial Library. If you were in class the first day, I gave you a pamphlet that listed all of the people and gave brief descriptions of them. It's also available online. There's a link in Blackboard. If you click on coursework and then click on information on papers and then click on local history paper, you will see a link to the Hall of Fame as well as a written version of the assignment. This is going to be a three-part assignment. There's going to be two preliminary assignments before you turn in the final assignment. The first assignment, which is due October 6th at 11:59 p.m. through the assignments function on Blackboard, is your choice of location, reflection, and list of sources. So you'll be turning in a preliminary biography with at least 5 sources formatted using either Chicago Manual of Style or MLA Citation Style. You need to include at least 3 non-internet sources, meaning sources that were not originally created for the internet. So if you find an article through the database that was originally published in a journal or a newspaper, you can use that as a non-internet source. You also, I do want to say, you cannot use Wikipedia. If you cite Wikipedia, you will receive a 0 on this assignment. You also are going to need to write 1 to 2 paragraphs reflecting on why you have chosen this particular site to research. What interested you about it? Was it the person? Was it the site? Is it something you already know something about? Did you grow up nearby? Is it a place you've never been before, but you're sort of excited to go to it? Those are the things that you need to include. Now, the next 2 assignments are the first draft, which is due October 20th at 11:59 p.m., and then the final draft, which is due November 10th at 11:59 p.m. And I'll give you an overview of what needs to be in the final paper, and then talk a little bit about the draft too. So the final paper is not a biography of the person in the Hall of Fame. You will need to include some basic biographical information, but it should be short, no more than 1 to 2 paragraphs. Be very careful in the information that you select for the biography. What are the most important things to know about this person? You don't need to include everything. You can't include everything. The main body of your paper should consist of a history of the location. When was it built? What different kinds of uses has it had over time? If it's a house, who's lived there? How has the neighborhood changed around it? And then, of course, you also need to include what is the connection of the person in the Hall of Fame to this location. And this section of your paper in the final draft should be 4 to 5 paragraphs. You also need to include your reflection on why you've chosen the location and then also how your understanding of it has changed and been enhanced through your research. This section of the paper should include your reflection on visiting the place. What was your experience of visiting the location like? And this should be between 1 or 2 paragraphs in the final draft. The first draft, the draft that's due on October 20th, it needs to be a good faith effort at your paper. It shouldn't just be a scraped together 1 to 2 paragraphs. It should have some of the biographical material, it should have some of the main body, and it should have at least some of the some of the reflection about visiting the place. You should have visited it by then, and it should be between 2 and 3 pages. Both the draft and the final paper need to have citations using Chicago Manual of Style or MLA Citation of Style. I don't care which you choose as long as it is used correctly. I will not accept papers and assignments submitted by email. You need to use the assignments function. The 2 initial assignments will be graded down 1 point for each day they are late. The final paper will lose 3 points for each day it is late. So you need to make sure you get them in on time. You have plenty of time. You now know the dates 3 weeks in advance for the first assignment and months in advance for the other ones. In terms of plagiarism, you should have all completed the plagiarism pre- and post-test and read through the online tutorial. If you didn't do that, it's too late to get credit, but you should still follow the link on the syllabus and make sure you understand what plagiarism is. If you still have questions, please contact me, the Writing Fellow, or the Writing Center. Any student who have found to have plagiarized material for an assignment or a paper, and this is any portion of the assignment. It's not, you can't just plagiarize a paragraph, and that's okay. Any portion will automatically receive a 0 for the assignment and risk failing the class and further disciplinary action. If you plagiarize a second assignment, you automatically fail the class. All right, thank you. Please email me or give me a call if you have any questions.